Hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kalia Garrido, and I'm the founder of Healthy Women Leaders. Healthy Women Leaders is a collective of women in leadership who choose to unapologetically focus on their health and develop their personal power. Our mission here is to create space and highlight the ideas and the people that champion healthy living and radical self-care as a critical measure to staying right-sided in a crazy world. This video series features women who have unlocked a truth through health or wellness that can be inspirational or educational or otherwise encourage people to live better lives. And today we are talking to May Yang. May is a financial strategist and a Medicare specialist. She has worked in the government for many years before she decided to apply her expertise to work on her own business. And in 2015, she founded MEG Financial Wellness. So May now educates people on personal financial wellness with a special focus on wealth building, aka getting ahead with your money. She is also the author of a chapter called The Rule Breaker in the recently released book, Journey to Now, I have her here, which chronicles deeply honest stories of healing, self-discovery, and transformation. May is also the mother to 5 children, and I'm proud to say, my neighbor. May, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so great. A part of this. Yeah,
this is awesome. I am so excited to learn more about your story because I am just fascinated after reading your chapter. Like, I have so many questions for you.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Awesome. All right, well, let's just start by, can you just explain a little bit more about yourself and, the work that you do? I've given kind of your high level bio, but just in your own words, kind of, how'd you get to be sitting here today, May?
Yeah, so like you mentioned before, I spent the last 12+ years in corporate, working from in the government entities from, within different capacities. And a lot of my work has always been public services, helping the underserved community. And then, the last one with the Boulder County District Attorney's Office, where I dealt a lot with financial crime cases. Elder abuse, financial expectations, all of that fun stuff. And then aside of that, I have always been, let me just put it this way, life insurance has always been a value or a financial component if you know how to use it properly to finance yourself to wealth. So because I see the beauty of it, and the benefits of it, I have always been doing that on the side as a part-time, just a hustle, side hustle. And then pandemic hit, things changed. I decided to, leave the corporate world and then jump into the business full time and then just bring in additional line of services such as the Medicare, the financial coaching, or consulting, just because I have all of those certifications while I was still in corporate anyways. And with my background in corporate, I see a lot of gap, a lot of needs, a lot of services that are, the underserved community are not getting. So I wanted to bring my expertise, my skills, and service that community.
I love that. That's great. So I think it's fantastic that the work that you do in financial wellness and wealth planning and building generational wealth, I think this is wonderful. And one of the things that really struck me when I read your chapter in the book was how you come from the Hmong culture, right? And you gave 2 examples in your book that floored me as somebody who's just, straight up American, about how patriarchal that culture is. And you gave 2 examples that I just have to share because I really had to kind of like stop for a second. So the first example that you gave is that in your culture, money is only inherited by the males in the family. And that kind of blew my hair back once. And then the second part was that at a social gathering, the men would eat first, and then women would, kind of assume the role. They would take the table after the men had their fill and kind of have leftovers, honestly.
Right.
Wow. So how amazing is it now, May, that you have, this is the culture that you come from, and you've become a financial specialist and like a financial guru. So I think it's kind of like a double whammy that you're really overcoming these the patriarchal culture that you grew up in. Like in America, as you know, the financial industry in general has always been male dominated, just like many of the industries. But specifically in your culture, you were busting down some doors here.
Yes. So to share a little bit about that, I would say the way, well, things have shift and change for the good. And I could totally see that. And, thank goodness to that. So that our daughters, our futures, the future generation don't have to take on that and suffer from that and have that cultural trauma. But yeah, I remember when I was younger, every single time when we go to social gathering, whether it's a retirement or a wedding, the male will always sit down first, and then the woman will cook, will put food on the table, the men will eat, chit chat, do their thing, and then they would, once they're done, the female will clean the table and then put whatever leftover food for the women's and children's. And that it is something that I don't like. So the way I change it now is my family is going to eat at the dinner table together. Whether you're male, female, we're going to eat together. If we have social gathering, we're going to do Paula style, first come, first serve. There's no men's first, women's first, or kids first. If you're hungry, help yourself. So that's the way I do it now, just to kind of change that. And it's the same thing with money, to where I grew up in a culture where, let's just say you're a daughter. Once you're married, whatever your parents give you as a gift, that's all what you have to take on to restart your life, to build your life. You're not entitled to their assets or their wealth or money that they have, or even, for example, if now things has changed a little bit, but I remember back in the day where as a girl, you can't get life insurance for your parents. It's only your brother who can, because you're gonna marry outside of the family. You're gonna take all of your knowledge, your wealth, everything with you. It's not gonna be retained within your family. So you're not even allowed to, or it's not even ideal for the daughters to buy life insurance, for example, for her parents. You could buy for your in-laws because you become part of that family. But generally you wouldn't be, for example, the name of beneficiary. It would be your husband's or the brothers. So that's the traditions or the culture I grew up with. And for me to see that, I'm like, well, but I love my kids equally, and I have more girls than boys. So I want to make sure that I break that, that trends. I want to make sure that my girls are equally loved, that they have the same equal share. They have the same assets and equal opportunity to building wealth and to also inherit whatever that I have. So it's just kind of changing that. And even now, like I say, I have more girls. It doesn't matter whether the boy is a girl. It's just, okay, so who's going to go to college first? I need to focus on that child first. Or who's, going to be driving within the next few years. I need to focus on the child first. It's not about I'm saving or reserving my funds for my sons or anything like that. And the same thing with, wealth, assets, and money, things like that. We name all of our kids as equally beneficiary for everything that we have. So I don't pick and choose who, I should give to, just because I feel like I came from the background and I didn't like that. And I need to be the change. I need to break that. I need to show my girls that they are equally loved, and they have the same equal share.
Yeah, you're doing it. You are absolutely doing it. I have to commend you. It sounds like, and what you're discussing today, and then also in your story, there's a lot of times in your story where you talk about following your own inner guidance. And I have to commend you, May, that no commentary on anybody's kind of culture, because my own is wow, there's some opportunity for improvement, right? But what you really did was follow your inner guidance, and you didn't take what people had prescribed to you. There's this concept of the prescribed life, and you were born into the Hmong culture, and these are the things that means. And a lot of people just accept what's given to them, and they move forward with that because that's the direction they were told, that you're gonna, put your head down and just, kind of live your life along those lines. But you have gone beyond that by following your inner guidance. And I think that is so awesome. I love when I see people doing that. So that's great. So can you share with me, what is a concern you would have for somebody who isn't able to listen to that voice within to make these decisions for themselves? Like, what concerns do you have for people who are maybe scared to do something like that, like what you've done, or, don't even know themselves at that level to know that they have another choice?
Yeah, so I would say normally, when you don't listen to your inner self, you are seeing yourself as less worthy. You are totally seeing yourself as different, as you're not as important as the other. For example, the husband or the male or the son. And I think a lot of that over time, it starts to eat you up. It starts to drain you down. It starts to affect you, mentally, physically, and then financially, because you have to be in a positive state of mind in order to enjoy what you like, and then to be healthy. And then all of that affects your financial as well. So I would say generally people who don't follow their inner voice, or follow what they want to do, and it's just kind of allowing the outsider to be the influence, telling you what to do, and to be the version what it's acceptable within society. You become numb to that, and then you become to normalize that that's the normal things of doing, the normal ways of doing things. So I think you lost a lot of self-confidence in that. You lost a lot of encouragement, motivations, and I think over time, especially for moms and for females, we become depressed, and we become unhealthy, and we learn to cut back on a lot of the things that we want to do, rather than what can I do to multiply that? What can I do to make myself better? What can I do to make, to be the best version I wanted to be for my kids, for my spouse, and for the whole entire community. But instead you are seeing yourself as, okay, I'm just the person behind the stage. So I don't need to be healthy. I don't need to dress well. I don't need to be, I have nothing to show. So that's so you're putting yourself in a positions where you are very close-minded, and you start to lose connection with friends. Overall, it's just a very unhealthy habit that you're creating. So.
Yeah. And I mean, this what you're talking about syncs up almost exactly with what we talk a lot about at Healthy Women Leaders. Like, we have the 5 core pillars of whole life self-care. And the very first one is that you have to truly know yourself. It is of the utmost importance that we as women are able to do the deep work, to go inside of ourselves, to figure out who we truly are, because I see so many women, and even myself included, without drawing a line in the sand and saying, no, I still am my own person. I'm a mother. I have a business. I have my husband. We have our homes, things like this. We can easily get swept away in the tide of just giving out. Right? Giving out, we give so much out to all of the people that need us, but truly, if we get to deeply know ourselves and work on ourselves, we are better able to provide for those around us. I truly believe that. I feel like self-care or doing the inner work is not selfish in any way. It's actually priming you to be at your very best for the people that depend on you.
Right. And knowing that, but, for example, once you start listening to your inner voice, you are allowing other people to tell you what to do rather than doing what you want to do. It's almost like it becomes like an expectation or a role for you. So generally speaking, just because you're female, you're a wife, you're a mother, that necessarily doesn't mean that when you are done with your 9 to 5, when you come home, your job is to make dinner, your job is to feed the kids, your job is to do the laundry, and to do all of these extra household work on top of work you're doing to bring in the income. And then you kind of lost that sense of setting boundaries and speak up for yourself by telling, for example, your partner and said, I'm tired, I can't, or I'd rather outsource this task to somebody, like hire somebody to come and clean my house, where you feel like, oh, it's our part of the package. That's what you sign up for. That's what life is about. And truly, that's not what life is about. So even for myself, I did have to learn how to, eliminate some of those tasks to where I don't feel obligated and I don't feel guilty if I'm tired and I don't feel like cooking, where I could just be like, I'm not cooking tonight. You're going to order something, or whoever's hungry, figure out,
figure it out.
Right. Or if I feel like, let's just say if I haven't done laundry, for a week or so, and I need some clothes, where if I just do just my laundry, I don't feel guilty or feel bad about it, because I feel like you can only do so much until you break down. You can only do so much for other people. And you truly have to teach other people that, hey, you can help. You can be a helping partner. You can, go the extra mile to really compromise and accommodate to my needs as well. One thing that I did, oh my gosh, this is like the most scary part. So in our culture, if you are the daughter-in-law who's married to the oldest sons, or if you are the daughter-in-law who's married to the youngest son, supposedly your in-law lives with you forever. It is your responsibility to take care of them until they're gone. And me being the oldest daughter-in-law and the only one that was married in the family, I kind of break the rule. I'm like, nope, I have kids. I need more space. I'm moving out. And by the time my in-laws know, I already got apartments. By the time they know, I'm already buying a house. And just kind of like breaking away from asking for permissions, waiting until they're like, oh, you need to move out because you have too many kids. But just knowing that it's time for me. And I need to break, the things I don't want to do. I need to break the traditions that it's no longer serving me or it's no longer making me happy. And truly just find what makes you happy. What is your purpose of living? What serves you better? And just kind of go with it. Because I will say family are there. They're there to keep you safe, to keep you connected, to keep you or to protect you. So they want to hold you back. Sometimes you just have to find ways to make it work for you. And I will say, regardless, at the end of the day, they will all still pick you, even though they're not like, I moved out. But at the end of the day, they will still call me over, right?
You still love me. I know you still love me.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So it's like forging your own path. I think that's great. And that really resonates throughout your whole story, is forging your own path. And I have to say, I love what you said about not feeling that just because you're the woman in the relationship that you have to do all of the childcare, all of the cooking, all of the laundry. It's so funny. I really like to think of myself as like this powerful businesswoman, and I'm really turned on when it comes to like, women's equality and women empowerment and things like this. And I still do more of the stuff around the house.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
And I have to like seriously like fight back against that within myself. And the real trick for me is to do it in a non-emotional moment, because what I like to do is let it all build up until I'm going to blow my top off at the rest of the people that live in my house and be like, why is nobody helping? But really the key is to spot it before it gets to that level. And then just have the conversation. Like you said, like I'm going to need some help today. I'm doing too much. There's a lot of things going on. And I think it's a nice reminder for me that I could, do that before it gets to that level where I'm just like, Hulk smash the dishes. I'm not doing them,
Right. And you kind of know how to work around it too, and like have like proactive planning as well. Like, so for example, if you already know that me as a wife, every single time when we have social gathering or we have like a celebrations, I'm the one who's going to end up doing the planning, the cooking, and the cleaning afterwards. And by no means, but generally, even when you have a kid's birthday, later on, it turns out to be an adult party later, right?
Yes.
So you know that you're going to have the actual work, and what can you do to eliminate or to minimize, the stress on yourself? For example, in our neighborhood, we have a clubhouse, right? So if you know that, okay, I don't want to do the after work, I don't want it to turn into an adult party. This is my intention, is to celebrate this event for this specific hours only. Then utilize the clubhouse to where you can literally tell your guests, oh, we have to be out of here because I only work from this time to this time, and party's over. And we go home. And I don't have to do the after work. I don't have to find food for guests later on just because you still have guests over.
Yeah, you intentionally set it up like that.
Yeah, so you had to be intentions about what you're doing. It's not that you are, for example, greedy or antisocial or anything like that, but you really truly had to set boundary, and you truly had to find a way that works for you, because we're so busy. We only have certain amount of hours in a day to do things, so you really have to set the rules, set the boundary, and communicate with your partner and say, this is how I wanted to do this event. This is how I wanted for things to be done. And just kind of communicate that.
Yeah. Yep. Love it. Okay. So one more question for you. What does being healthy mean to you?
For me, it's truly just being your badass decision making maker, live life on your terms, and don't let other people tell you no. Don't let other people underestimate you or undervalue you. And truly just be you without apologizing, without feeling guilty, without feeling like you are overdoing it, or you're in our culture, it's like my mom was, oh, you're like a daughter who always taught back. Like without feeling that. That it's okay to voice your own opinions. It's okay to say no to the things that doesn't serve you, and truly just yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Yep. Honoring what works for you, being considerate of the people around you, allowing them to share their piece, but doing at the end of the day what works best for you so that you're better able to handle the rest of the responsibilities in your life. I love that. Thank you so much for this chat today, May. This is awesome. I would welcome everybody to get Journey to Now. This is a fantastic picture into your culture. And I don't know, as my neighbor, I just feel like I know you so much more now. This is wonderful. And then if anybody wants to find May online, they can go to MEG Financial Wellness. It's MEG Financial Wellness.com. That is it. Thank you so much for chatting with me today, May. This has been wonderful.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.